When designing any product, you kind of have to start off with inspiration, and what brought inspiration to my mind was fiddlesticks. It really helped to, kind of envision that track for the marble to pass through with those cuts in there. It was really cool to kind of manipulate a string and, do different twists and turns.
I drew a lot of inspiration from the game Perplexus and being able to maneuver a certain object through a course that requires you to turn and view from multiple angles. Toys that challenge the user by requiring them to manipulate the orientation of the object to advance to a further level of the puzzle really intrigued us.
When fidgeting around with fiddlesticks, I thought it was really cool that there was these extruded cuts in there that kind of reminded me of like a maze, and twisting and turning all of those faces reminded me of a labyrinth and how, a marble could pass through there.
That's where one of these ideas of maybe being able to line up these multiple sections of a whole shape or object to complete a kind of final maze really came about.
After we gathered all of our inspiration, we immediately moved to the drawing board, and we immediately began to ideate based upon those features that we wanted to put into this game.
We wanted to challenge the user's coordination skills and visual perception at the same time.
After a week or two of sketching, we used those sketches, and then we started to make models from those sketches.
Did a lot of drawing and kind of finalized what the concept of this thing was going to be. We started moving into 3D and began making handmade models, just kind of playing with shape and size. This was the first model we made. It gave us a good sense of size and really put the complexity of the maze and how hard it needed to actually be into perspective. We also started toying with different shapes using hexagonal and other geometric shapes. We refined our models. We moved into higher fidelity materials, which allowed us to get a more defined track and began to allow us to really make this maze complex and really difficult. Kept exploring shapes and brought these models to our play parties where we had the public get their hands on them and start giving us feedback about what they thought about the size, what they thought about the shapes, and how hard it was for other people who hadn't just made this maze completed.
Can I get one of these?
No, this is fun.
After giving our models to the public, we really figured out which ones felt better in the hands, which ones people just basically like to hold on to more. With this user feedback, we were able to make decisions on a final form and final difficulty level that we thought was appropriate.
This is how we came to a final form of a perfect octagon. This allowed us to increase the difficulty while maintaining that aesthetic value we wanted to achieve when we first started this project.
We also researched ways of keeping the ball submerged in the track without having to cover it up with plastic. Did a lot of different tests with a lot of different shaped bits, routing out the track to find out what was the best profile to hold the ball inside the track. And we found that a ball tip bit would allow a clear channel to be viewed from above, and it kind of held the aesthetics at that heirloom quality we were looking for.
Every little bit of the product, it feels great in your hand. The chamfers and everything that goes along with it was carefully thought out.
Having to manipulate this object on multiple axes really increases difficulty and makes an exciting experience.
All the aspects that people loved and what we loved about the Daedalus didn't come easy. A lot of long hours went into developing the actual maze. The difficulty level, there was times where I would be up all night just trying to figure out different ways of kind of confusing the user with the difficulty levels. Packaging was a really important role in the design process. We wanted something that was simple but yet allowed the user to still feel the product, feel the grain of the wood, and to even maybe move the faces of the product and still be able to see the marble pass through different parts of the maze. So there's an end cap and a kind of a sleeve that goes over the wood, and it's still a little bit exposed so you can still play with it, and just helps with shipping, and it's very simple. So color scheme was something that was carefully thought out. We tried to go with colors that kind of resembled the Marbles brand and made the product itself stand out. And in terms of what was actually on the packaging, we chose to put the line work from our actual maze onto the packaging, and it just kind of added more of a labyrinth or a maze type feel to this product. You get a maze on the outside and you get a maze inside. The replay value with the Daedalus is endless. There are features such as add-ons that allow the user to add or subtract parts, so you can increase the difficulty yourself or make it easier for yourself.
With this project, there are details that we have yet to fully define, which we will do so during engineering. The sound aspect of giving an auditory feedback when each section is rotated. When rotated, you'll get a nice clicking sound. Lots of people told us they really enjoyed being able to kind of have a sound when the track is manipulated. Also features such as traps and drops that will either set you back or move you forward are something we're going to achieve during the final phases of refinement. Nonetheless, a great product was achieved that surpassed even our own expectations and reached the standard that the Marbles brand has set. This experience alone was more valuable than I think either of us could have ever expected. I'm Taylor.
I'm John, and we created the Daedalus Marble Maze.